everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Talking Toku, Boston and Bellingham's only podcast about Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, and all of their kaiju friends. I am your host, David.
I'm Brian.
You seemed a little unsure of yourself there. Are you sure you're Brian today?
I'm always a little unsure of myself.
Okay.
It's a very human thing. Everyone's like that.
That's fair.
We're all
doesn't?
about mental health here on Talking Toku.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just gonna keep on rolling with that. I'm not gonna unpack that at all.
We're really hitting the ground running today.
That's one way to put it. Sure. 49 seconds into the recording, this is how it's going so far. It's going to be a doozy of an episode, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
But if you guys remember from last episode where we covered Shin Ultraman, we told you, we'd said, hey, we're going to be doing some more Ultraman stuff the next time. So here we are, and we're covering Ultraman Decker, which just wrapped 2 weeks ago, I think? 1 week? I don't remember.
Something like that.
I mean,
by the time we didn't end up watching it until like last week.
Yeah. I mean, by the time this episode goes out, it will have definitely been at least 2 weeks because the episodes go on Friday, and that's when Ultraman was airing. So, yeah, at least 2 weeks. I don't know for sure, but there you go. But, yeah, long story short, we really, really liked it, and we're very excited to talk about it. But we're getting ahead of ourselves because, you know how we do things here on this show.
We got
news.
And we are contractually obligated to tell you about it.
We are. I mean, not really. We didn't even sign a contract. I mean,
it's a mental one.
I mean, if you signed a contract, Brian, that was not a contract I wrote. I think you may have been scammed.
Oh no!
What was in the contract you signed?
I don't know. I didn't read it.
Oh no, it just
showed up in my mailbox one day.
That's concerning, Brian. I never mailed you anything.
I should probably look into that.
You probably should. You may have signed your soul away to someone.
Was it bad that they didn't give me a copy?
Probably yes.
Oh god damn it!
You might. Someone might own you right now, and you would never know. That's definitely worth looking into.
Well, I'll do that. I'll look into it.
All right. So, hey, anime.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan is never going to fucking end, apparently, because part 3 of season 4, which is the final season, is coming back on March 3rd with a single caveat. It's going to be airing in 2 parts. I don't understand that backwards logic. You're already splitting the final season into 3 parts, and now you're splitting the 3rd part into 2 parts. I don't
that
get
doesn't
it.
Make any sense.
I don't I don't know. I have to feel bad for Attack on Titan fans. And I'm very glad that I never really got into the show. I watched the first half of the first season, went, hey, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And then proceeded to never watch it ever again. Don't ask me why, I just didn't. And I've been meaning ever since to go back and finish it. But you know what? Maybe I'll just wait until the show's actually fucking done, in 3 or 4 years' time. Who knows?
That's probably what I'll do.
Yeah, maybe if we once they officially say, "Hey, this is the last part of the last season. It's finally airing." Maybe then we can finally start watching it, Brian. Because the whole, from what I've been told, Attack on Titan again. I've seen the first half of the first season. I really liked it. Attack on Titan, it's a lot of it's a big love letter to the World of Gargantuas. So it's already it's not only giant monsters, it is actually Toku adjacent. So, there's that whole thing. But yeah, I don't know what the hell. I don't know what they're doing, man. It's very
Stranger
weird.
Things really set a dangerous precedent by splitting their season into 2.
That's the thing. Attack on Titan doing this preceded Stranger Things by about a year.
Oh, that's fair.
Like, let me double check when.
Well, I guess actually the connoisseurs of the splitting a season into two is technically like The Walking Dead.
Did they do
Like
that?
yeah, they used to do that, or
Hmm.
they used to do it. I don't know if they still do, but I remember
I mean, The Walking Dead's
back
ended, I'm
the
pretty sure. Like, the final
oh, it's
season.
over now.
Yeah.
It just ended like I don't know a little while ago, but
Yeah, season
I
4 of Attack on Titan started in December of 2020. So, and that was well before Stranger Things. It's still going. It's still going.
that's
God,
Jesus
I
Christ.
feel so bad for fans. That's awful.
I just want it to be over.
Honestly.
Mm, God
I mean,
damn.
I guess that's kind of like that's more of a common thing in anime, I want to say, but I don't know like to what extent, really.
I don't know. I mean, splitting something into a part of another part is just kind of ridiculous.
Mhm.
Like, I don't
Oh,
know.
you know what? Never fucking mind. I was wrong. I was thinking of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure as an example of this, but no, that's not at all the case. I mean, it kind of is. Guys, I like season 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, part 1 finished on December 1st of 2012, and then part 2 of season 1 aired the week after. So that's not that doesn't work.
Yeah.
So never mind then. I'm just talking out of my ass, I guess. So still,
Yes.
I don't know what the fuck Attack on Titan is doing. Oh well. Will we ever cover the show? Maybe in like 3 years. We'll see.
Maybe when we're like 60 years old.
Yeah, and this podcast is at its I don't know how many episodes we'd have by then.
2000th episode.
2,000 episodes. That's a lot.
Yeah. We're on 40.
This is
We're on 41.
41. I actually want to do the
Sorry.
math as to how long it would take us to get to to 2,000 episodes.
I don't have the patience to do that math, and I don't think you do either.
I don't, and I'm also stupid when it comes to math, so I don't even have the know-how to do it.
I was telling our biggest fan, Sam, about this in the car.
Mm-hmm.
But back in high school, I was so bad at math that my teachers literally thought I had a learning disability.
Nice.
Yeah. So a little fun fact about me.
I was actually tested for ADD/ADHD when I was in middle school. Not because I was stupid or anything. It's just because I literally did no work, and the reason for that is because I didn't fucking want to.
Yep. I remember. All my friends were lazy.
And look at me
Including
now. Look at us now.
Yeah.
We're doing so
Yeah.
well. We're doing so well.
We're the pinnacle of society.
We really are. We're like you said, we're white guys with a podcast.
That's true.
That is the pinnacle of society, truly, and no
That
one
was
can tell me
one of
otherwise.
that was the thing I had on my dating profile for when I used a
I
dating
know.
profile.
It's very funny.
I'm so glad I'm off of that bullshit.
I still use that phrase sometimes to refer to myself. I'm a white guy with a podcast because it's
I
funny.
mean, it's just like a very all-encompassing term. Like if you want like a all-encompassing title, like you want someone to know exactly the kind of person you are,
Yeah,
you just throw that out
exactly.
there and they understand.
I had to like explain it to someone because I was like, listen, most podcasts, think about it. Most of their hosts, they're fucking white guys. That's
Yep.
all it is. Like that's it's not like a racist thing. It's just like it's a demonstrable fact. Like most podcast hosts are white guys,
It's true.
and we're just feeding that stereotype.
I mean, yeah, yeah, that's true. But we're not like cringe. We're not like cringe podcasters. You know?
I guess that depends on who you ask, really.
Yeah, but we're not like covering like the mainstream, like politics and shit.
That's true. We're covering shit like Attack on Titan.
Cool stuff. And by mentioning Attack on Titan, we have thus increased the listener chance because every time we cover anything anime related, we get more
That's
listeners.
true. You know what I have to start doing from now on? We gotta like put a bunch of clickbait stuff in the titles. like
Well, I was
just
gonna
talking
say
about
you should
anime.
probably like put the like some of the bigger news items like either in the title or the description,
Mm-hmm.
because then it'll be put in the algorithm and then people will know.
That would be good.
So
Ugh.
just a thought. Just
Perhaps.
casually talking outreach strats and
Yeah,
stuff
it's a
on our
little
podcast,
a cool little behind the scenes look at what we do, which is very little
Not
because
not at all.
I don't think I advertised the fact that we are back for the new year on Facebook yet. I've talked about it on Twitter, but not Facebook or
Yep.
Instagram.
Should probably do
Whoops.
that.
I probably should do that. Or
I can do it.
Brian, you could always, do what you said you were going to do and talk to our number one fan Sam about being the social media person.
Or I could do it.
Or you could do it. That's true.
I'll do this one and I'll talk to Sam about it.
Okay, cool. Because we need
All
a
right,
social
well,
media manager because my
let's
time has been stretched so far, and I will go into that at the end of this news segment.
Oh, quit your belly aching. All right, let's move on to the next piece of news.
Do it, Brian.
Walter Emmanuel Jones and David Yost, who played Zack and Billy respectively in the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, have announced that they will be reprising their roles in a new Netflix special entitled Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Once and Always. They will, of course, not be alone, joined by Johnny Young Bosch and Karen Ashley, who played Adam and Aisha, respectively. This news comes at a pretty dark time for Power Ranger fans, as the recent death of Jason David Frank still hangs heavily for many. So to see a bunch of other actors from that original series reunite must surely seem like a bright spot. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Again,
As much as I don't like Netflix, it is cool that they greenlight stuff like this.
I agree.
So.
Yeah. I mean, again, I talked about this like back, I think when the news broke that Frank died. I've never been really into Power Rangers, but like it really does seem like what fans need. And obviously it's a franchise that's still going to this day. But something like this that like really connects back to Mighty Morphin, like that must be like a nice shot in the arm for people like still feeling down about his passing. So I'm happy for them for that. I might watch it. We'll see.
Last time we talked about, I think when we talked about Jason's death, I don't remember if it was last episode or the episode before that. Like I said, I was a pretty big like Power Rangers fan growing up, but it kind of fell out like because I haven't watched anything except for the big movie. But I might watch this, to be honest, because all new shit and like that original series is what I watched.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of exciting. I haven't really been enthusiastic for Power Rangers things since I was a kid. But
yeah, it's interesting that they didn't get the other two Rangers back, Austin St. John and Amy Jo Johnson, who played Jason and Kimberly. I don't really know what they're doing nowadays, to be fair. I mean, it looks like Amy Jo Johnson is still acting here and there. I assume Austin St. John also is. I mean, Johnny Young Bosch is like the biggest one. He's the one who has like the biggest career post Power Rangers, I feel. But yeah, it's interesting that they didn't get the other two back. Speaking of Netflix and their goings on, we've had another teaser for the upcoming Gamera Rebirth series, featuring a first look at some footage of the series. It is, as we suspected, going to be CGI animation, which is it's a choice. It's not the choice I would have liked to see, but whatever. We've also only seen about 8 seconds of footage, if that. So we'll wait for a more substantial trailer to come out before we really make a final judgment. Series is going to be 6 episodes long. Still no release date, unfortunately. But we have gotten confirmation that longtime Gamera foe Gyaos will be appearing in the series, along with 4 other kaiju. It was kind of a weird thing. It said Gamera. It's like 6 episodes. Gamera versus 5 kaiju. It was maybe it was just like like weird translation from Japanese to English, but that's what it said in the teaser. Very odd. Anyways, whether these will all be legacy kaiju from the franchise or all new characters is still unknown. But regardless, very very excited. Again, Gamera has been MIA since 2006 with Gamera the Brave. So it's long overdue to have Gamera back. I'm very excited.
Yes, I am also very excited.
Maybe, Brian, you should watch the Gamera films to prepare.
I think you're right.
Okay.
I'm going to get on that. I promise.
All right. You keep saying that, Brian. You've been saying that for months. Since October, almost.
I know. Wait, what?
I want to say
October?
I think that was around that time when the Shin Gamera discussion happened, and I've been trying to get you to do it since then. So
I know, but I thought that I had those movies on my list for rewatch since before that, like way before that.
So you're digging yourself a hole even more. You're admitting that it's even worse than what I said.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to try to make myself look better. I know it's bad. Dave, there is music that you've recommended to me from years ago that I still have not listened to.
Yeah, I'm curious now. Because you said you had relatively recently you had started listening to Pallbearer, and
Yep.
I had recommended Pallbearer to you back when Heartless came out. That album came out in 2017. So it took you 5 years to finally get around to listening to that.
Yeah, buddy, it did.
Alrighty. Very cool.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay. Cool.
I look pretty bad in this, but I promise I'll make it up to you.
Okay, well, you can make it up to me by watching Gamera versus Virus, or whatever
right.
one you're on. I'm pretty sure it's Virus.
I think that's.
I think you said you started watching it, but then you got distracted or something and had to stop. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah.
One of these days, audience, it'll be Brian will be able to say he watched a Gamera movie.
True. I've watched a bunch of them.
Not enough though.
I mean, I watched all of them technically. I just don't remember.
No, I don't think.
I remember.
No, I don't think you ever watched the Showa era. We watched up through Gyaos, and also the Heisei trilogy, but past Gyaos and the Brave, I don't think you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, no, not the later Showa.
Yeah, because I'd only seen them once the Arrow set came out. So you're pretty much in the same boat I was.
Yep.
Up until that point. So, yeah.
All right.
Fucking,
well, it's not all bad.
Fucking get on it, Brian. God.
I will.
Keeping us waiting.
Okay. Fine. Fine.
So, Brian, has r/Godzilla behaved itself recently?
Honestly, I really didn't look at all. I did, in passing, see a post of just somebody posting a picture of Manila saying, "Why does everyone hate Manila?" It's just
okay.
I just don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't really think that there's a huge hate mob for Manila.
Not anymore. I mean, there used to be, like, in the early 2010s, I guess.
I mean, I used to, like, as like a meme, I would always make fun of him.
Yeah,
it's a meme. Look like shit.
Oh, you know what?
But
fuck it. I know what to talk about.
What?
Hold on. I gotta find it. Hold on. Because this happened yesterday as of recording. An interview that Tom Holkenborg, Junkie XL, gave in front of Godzilla vs. Kong resurfaced for some reason, and I'm not really sure why. And holy fuck, did Godzilla fans take it way too fucking seriously. Yeah, this is from March 31st, like when the movie came out. So I don't know why this resurfaced, but here we go. So this is a quote from Tom Holkenborg. I find Godzilla a highly comedic character, Holkenborg said. My favorite movie is Godzilla vs. Mothra. And so when people ask me, is it a good film? I say, well, besides the bad script, besides the horrible acting, besides the bad special effects, and besides the really bad scripted fight sequences, it's a fantastic movie. So Godzilla fans took this very, very personally and took it like as an attack on their fandom.
Okay.
I didn't see some of this, but from what I heard, there were people sending him death threats because of that. And that's never a good thing in any circumstance, especially when you're talking about a fucking giant monster movie franchise. But especially in this case.
My giant monster movie, I'm gonna send you death threats.
Listen.
Man, people really do return to Monkey.
They really do.
Their feelings get a little bit hurt.
Listen, I get it. I get being defensive about your favorite film franchise. I can get defensive every so often, but you don't have to get it. It's not that big a deal. It also just makes
the rest of us look bad.
It does. And
it's the same shit with like Star Wars fans. Is you got one sect of that community who's fucking crazy, and it makes all of them look terrible.
There is a reason I try my best not to interact with like the fandom at large for any fandom, but like especially Star Wars. I mean, obviously I have a ton of friends in the Godzilla fandom, but like I don't have any friends in the Star Wars fandom like at all because I don't interact with the Star Wars fandom like at all. I watch Star Wars Explained and I watch Eckert's Ladder, and that's the extent of my interaction with the fandom at large. That's pretty much it. But
it's very telling that you don't do any actual talking to people. You just watch videos.
Exactly. Like that. That should really give you an idea of how bad the Star Wars fandom can be. Yep. But yeah, like it's not that big a deal. And yeah, it really it's kind of mean-spirited, I guess, to just like kind of write it off, being like, "Oh yeah, the movie sucks. Everything about it is bad, but I like it, I guess." So it's whatever, but like don't fucking take it so personally.
Like at the end of the day, it's just a movie.
Exactly. And
I don't get, like, even if you fucking love it, like it's somebody with their opinion. They were asked a question, and you don't even know if they're like being 100% honest. Like he could just be saying that for shock value. He could be like over exaggerating his feelings on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't know exactly what's going on inside of his head. Like I just think that like you can't, like, sure you can, like, you know, you can take what he says and not agree with it, but to like immediately assume that what he's saying is 100% how he feels is just kind of ridiculous. I don't know. And he even said that he still fucking liked it too.
Yeah, he said it's a fantastic movie. It's my favorite.
Like, just Godzilla movie. Cut away all the other shit about all the things that he thinks are bad, and at the end of the day, he says he still likes it. It's ridiculous.
How about this? This is another way to take his comments. He says, "My favorite movie is Godzilla vs. Mothra." Does he mean Mothra versus Godzilla or the 1992 film Godzilla vs. Mothra? Which, yes, has a terrible script, has not so great acting, and has some pretty shitty fight sequences. Could that be the one he's referring to? I don't know.
I was just about to ask that.
I
don't know.
I'd like to think that's the one he's referring to because that movie is pretty terrible. Like, I think that's one of the few Heisei movies that everyone kind of agrees isn't good. Like, yeah, a lot of people really like Mechagodzilla 2 and King Ghidorah and Destroya, but I really feel like Godzilla vs. Mothra, everyone just kind of decides to forget about because it's just a forgettable movie.
I think Godzilla vs. Mothra is probably one of the only Godzilla movies that I've seen. Well, for one, it's the one that I've seen the least.
For sure.
I just never watch. Like I never want to watch it. There's
Mhm.
nothing that ever makes me want to watch it. Um, but it's one of those movies where it's just like I'll watch it and I just forget everything that happened.
Yeah. All I know about it is that there's the Indiana Jones thing at the beginning of the film.
Yeah. I remember that. I think we noticed that when you and I watched that.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, that's about all I remember about it.
Other than that, it's like more or less a beat for beat remake of the 1964 film, but way more boring and also with a new monster.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know, in short, fucking just calm down, for God's sake. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
I just think people they take stuff way too seriously.
They do.
Like
And
about anything, honestly.
I mean,
think go ahead.
Part of that I feel is that because, like, you know, back in the day, I mean, ultimately it is still kind of a niche thing, but back in the day it was like a niche thing, and we've talked about this, people did get like kind of made fun of for it back in the day. I certainly did. So people are like kind of defensive about it now, but like still it's just calm down. He's clearly not a fan. So I don't know why. That's like going up to, I don't know, Brian, name a Hollywood person.
A Hollywood person.
Yes, a Hollywood person.
The most Hollywood person that I can think of is Brad Pitt.
Okay, that's no, that's a bad example, because I'm pretty sure Brad Pitt has talked about how much he loved War of the Gargantuas. That's a bad example.
Right. Who's another?
Chris Evans.
Hollywood.
We'll go with
Chris Evans is a very Hollywood.
He's a Hollywood
person.
man. It's like going up to Chris Evans and being like, "Hey, Chris Evans, what do you? How do you feel about Son of Godzilla? What are your thoughts on the cinematic masterpiece that is Son of Godzilla?" And he'll be like, "Excuse me?
I've never seen it."
Exactly. You can't expect everyone in the industry to know and enjoy the things you like.
Yeah.
That's all.
I also think like there's something to be said about just not like don't put value on everybody's opinion on stuff.
Yeah.
Like if you don't agree with it, just be like, all right, whatever. Like it's
move
not
on with
like
your life.
If anything, it sounds like people who get mad, it just gives the air of like insecurity, like they're looking for validation in liking the movie. But like you don't need validation to like something. You don't need validation from a famous person to like anything.
Exactly.
It's just kind of stupid. Like I like plenty of shit that famous people would probably just look at and shrug at, and they have no idea what it is. I don't know. Like, I don't give a shit. Maybe that's just because like I'm an adult and I don't really care. but like, you know, I don't know. People just get too wound up.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's kind of all I wanted to say on the topic. So
y'all need to calm down.
It's true. Brian, should we
Please,
move on
I'm begging you.
to our main topic?
Yes. We're talking about Ultraman Decker.
Ultraman Decker. Flash.
Before we start, the theme was a real banger every time it came on.
It is
awesome.
Yeah.
Much better than Triggers.
So
that's going to be a running theme of this review.
I hope you all have your rice crackers ready to snack on while you listen to us talk about it. So, yeah.
Yep.
So how do we want to start this off, Ryan? I especially for shows, I'm always unsure of how to start the review.
Well, I can tell you that going into this, I was probably not as excited because if you remember, the last Ultraman thing that I watched besides the original was Trigger, and I was so bored by Trigger. that I was skeptical about this one. But this one was really, really good. Way better. Decker was definitely probably a better representation of what to expect out of Ultraman stuff.
Yeah, I
I don't
honestly,
know.
I
That's the
feel
background
I feel very
for me.
bad for you considering the first full length Ultraman series that you watched was Trigger.
Yeah,
I feel really bad about that. And
I
but
think that's the only time in a review where we just like didn't have anything to
we
talk
really
about at
had nothing to
first.
talk about
We
for
had
Trigger because it was
literally
just
nothing
bad
to say. We were just reviewing it because
because
that's what we had
for the
slated.
content, yeah.
Yeah, like that's just like what we had just finished.
Yeah, but
And we had sunk so much time into finishing it that we had to review it. Like it
God,
was 25 episodes and we were just bored to tears by the end of
I
it.
know it was.
But I think that I was actually like I was happy that Decker ended, but I mean I enjoyed it right up till the end.
Yeah, same here. Like it's we've briefly mentioned it here and there on the show because we were watching it live. We didn't binge it or anything. We It's really funny how kind of functionally identical it is to Trigger, but it's like way better in almost every aspect, more or less. I think the biggest thing about that is they shrunk the cast of characters a little bit. I'm trying to remember how many characters. I want to say they only like shrunk it by like one character more or less, but they
Yeah.
actually
I think there was
gave.
there was like five main people and then Hanajiro, but he
Yeah,
doesn't really
also
count.
I no, because I guess that tracks because in Trigger it was the five of them plus Maru, so it's the same amount of characters. I guess they are just much better written and given a
Yeah,
lot
but
more
but
depth.
also the villains in Decker weren't really um well, there was only one villain like
Hmm.
overarching,
Yeah,
and he was more interesting
that's
than
fair.
Trigger's
Than
three
Triggers.
villains.
That's
I don't
fair.
even remember their names except for Big Titty Goth GF.
It's Carmira. That was the
There you go.
main the woman.
Yeah.
Carmira,
And she
Dargon,
showed
and
up for like
Hudrum.
an
She
episode or
did.
two
And
episodes.
she was like,
Yeah.
"Hey Trigger, I'm back. I'm
Thanks.
good now." But
And then
just
she pieced
kidding,
out.
I'm bad still. And then she was like, "Nah, I'm just kidding. I am good." And then we never saw her again.
Yep. Yeah, she pieced out after that.
Yeah. But
But yeah, I think the biggest improvement was just every character was just better.
yeah,
Like
for sure.
like I gave a shit and they actually were interesting to watch.
Mm.
And the lead wasn't as unbearably cringe as Trigger was. I'm
Brian,
forgetting the names right
you
now.
didn't want to smile, Brian.
No, I didn't. And they did bring him back. Trigger showed up a couple times
Yeah,
in Decker.
because
And
it's
while he was definitely better in Decker, which is funny because he was better than he was in his own show.
yeah.
I still did not I still did not really enjoy his presence.
I don't know. I think we kind of agreed when that episode was on that it was definitely like it actually made me care about the characters in Trigger, which was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do think Kanata is a much better protagonist than Kengo. Um, Part of that might be just because of the rice crackers joke. I don't know. But
Yeah, but I mean also I just think that he was like he just seemed more like a person, if that makes
yeah,
sense.
no, I see what you mean
Like
because like Kengo
like
was a little over the
Kengo was
top.
just Kengo's whole thing was that he was just kind of an idiot. And like
Yeah,
I just don't buy that. Like I just like it just wasn't relatable. Like I
Mm.
couldn't really like being an idiot or being like you know you know like just stupid kind of from no fault of his own.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just not something that I can really be interested in. And I don't know like whether that was like on purpose or not. I don't think it was, but I just think that Kanata was a much better character. Like he actually had a bit of depth to him, a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that like overall though, the actual like overarching narrative was like a bit less. Like it didn't seem like the I mean the main like threat in Decker was this alien race called the Sphere,
Yeah, and
and
then they
they showed up and they had a big presence at the beginning of the show, but then for like most of the middle, like you kind of forgot about it
yeah,
a little bit.
I mean, part of that was because they brought in an actual antagonist with Agams,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
yeah, it really felt like they kind of sidelined the Sphere, which I guess makes sense because like we didn't. I mean, the Sphere were more or less just like probes. They never actually interacted with any of the characters other than just destroying shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was a little concerned for that to begin with, just because I'm like, are we gonna have like an actual antagonist here, or is it just gonna be alien ships? Because that's a little boring. But
Yeah.
thankfully, that wasn't the case.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just it was a little weird because for with Trigger, you had the three bad guys that showed up pretty
Hmm.
regularly, and like you knew it was gonna end in a 1v1 versus Trigger and his ex. But like with Decker, it was just like it didn't. I don't know. It just it felt like there was a lot of like I don't know uh, stuff not really related. Like there was a
Hmm.
lot of kind of just like standalone episodes, or at least that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because we were watching them weekly and we didn't binge it. Like maybe if we watched them like more like closer together, maybe there would be more of a feeling of interconnectedness, but I didn't
Mm.
really get that.
I didn't
But
get
I
that either.
honestly think
No.
that it's fine because I just enjoyed the show more like in general. I think my favorite episode was definitely the still the Ella King
Yeah,
episode.
honestly, we'll definitely get to that. But I just want to say
Yeah.
that yeah, it because we didn't like really get to see the main antagonist until like I want to say maybe about halfway through the series. I was a little worried that like it was going to be just kind of unfocused, and I guess it kind of was at the beginning because there was really
Yeah.
no overarching threat aside from the Sphere, which again it was just kind of a typical alien invasion kind of thing. But thankfully, it really found its footing narratively in the second half. So I was able to let out
Yeah.
kind of a sigh of relief at that. So
But I also think that like the beginning of the series, like before the main antagonist showed up, I think that's probably when they were doing their character building for the main
that's
leads.
fair. Yeah. You know, we have
So
to
and
actually
I
get to know like Kanata and Ryumon and Kirino,
yeah,
which
I
I
distinctly
think,
remember in Trigger we never really had time to get to know anybody.
yeah. I mean, we did, but like, I don't know. It was just I felt like in Trigger, a lot of the character development was like so sporadic. Like it happened over the entire series. Like we didn't. Like, I don't know how to like word it correctly, but it was just very sporadic, the character development, and it just felt very disjointed for it.
Yeah. But then in Decker, the thing that I noticed was that a lot of the characters had like episodes that focused on them
Hmm.
and like stuff that they were like I don't know I don't know like conflicts that had to do with them
Yeah.
and not just Decker.
Yeah,
Uh,
which I mentioned when we reviewed Trigger last year was a big problem that I had with Trigger because Ultraman Z had had that exact thing where they had a bunch of where like each character, even like the side characters, they all had their their time in the sun. They had their time to shine, and then Trigger, like, again, there was the captain, there was the gun guy, and there was the pilot lady. That was kind of the extent of their characters, more or less. But everyone here actually got like a decent amount. Like even like Murahoshi, the captain, like he had a whole thing where like the head of the TPU thought he was like a traitor, selling out secrets to the sphere or whatever. Like that was a pretty big moment.
Yeah.
And I think that was like pretty early on in the series too, oddly enough.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking that was maybe somewhere in the midpoint. I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it was early. I think it was later. I don't know. I don't remember. But that was also a standout episode.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that the show it just had a lot more like it used its time much better than Trigger did.
Agreed, for sure.
I felt like Trigger was definitely more unfocused, and it was kind of just like, oh, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna do this, and then we'll do this. But then Decker was more thought out about its pacing and what episode was gonna tackle what.
Yeah, and from what
I've heard, it was just a bit more smartly thought out.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, Trigger apparently suffered from some like studio intervention that kind of prevented it from being it better. I don't know that for sure. I'm taking my friend Corey's word on that. She definitely knows more about Ultraman stuff than I do, so I will just I'll take her at face value. But yeah, and that didn't seem to carry over to Decker, thankfully. So I really think it was made the better for it, having less studio interference.
Yes. Yep. Hard agree. All right. Well, do we want to talk about like some of our favorite episodes, or what do you want to do?
Episode 5, Glutton of the Lake, with Ella King.
Yes. Let's go.
There it is.
Easily the best episode
for sure. I mean, Ella King a lot of the time, like even back in the original Ultra 7, like if you see Ella King in an episode of Ultra, it's gonna be a good episode. Just because it's a great. First off, the Alien Pit are great villains, and Ella King is definitely one of the more iconic monsters, especially from Ultra 7. But yeah, this one was real great. I think we were both like having a great time watching this.
Yeah, it was very wholesome. Ella King was just a little guy, and then they kept feeding him more, and then he turned into a big guy. But he didn't want to fight no one.
He just wanted
hungry. Food.
He was a hungry man.
He just had the munchies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then his BFF was just there trying to help out.
Yeah. This was actually like one of the first episodes where he got like background into one of the other characters with Kirino, because Kirino is the one who found Yuko, who was the alien pit looking after Ella King. And she was like, yeah, okay, I'll help you. Why not? So that was a really nice kind of look into what kind of character, like with her morality, more or less. And we definitely that's not something we see that often. I feel maybe it is. I don't know. I'm still new to, especially new generation Ultra. I'm still new to. So shut up.
I'm new to all of it.
Exactly.
I don't know.
But yeah, I that one was definitely an early highlight for sure. Was Glutton of the Lake.
I think that was probably right around when I started like getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Trigger, I really didn't. I was like, this sucks. I'm not having like this, But then I think with that, with episode 6, I was like, you know what? I get it now. I like it. Like this is obviously what Ultraman is more supposed to be. I I also just want to do a quick mention to the episode immediately after that, where they commit genocide.
Oh yeah, like
Basically,
the whole horde of twin tails living underground. Yeah,
yeah, that was shocking.
yeah,
Just
it
how
was.
many how many just got fucking murdered by the
It was
their
very
like
funny.
big gun station thing,
Hmm.
like shot into the ground.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun. Let me look
Very
here.
nice.
I honestly should have wrote down some of the episodes that were highlights to me. Um, oh, what was the one? Oh, Lord Ragon. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that
that was a good one.
I have a new profile picture for
Yeah, you
because
went from the Brad X to Lord Ragon.
because there's
Uh,
that point in Lord Ragon where um fucking what's her name? What is her name? Did she even get a name? I don't remember.
the old lady.
Yeah.
I don't remember her name.
Shit.
Shit.
Oh, Nagi Urasawa. Yeah,
Okay.
she's. I don't know if she's the one explaining the history behind Ragon. It might be it might have been Kirino or Kaizaki. Is that her name? Shit.
I think so. I just had the wiki open.
Yeah, Kaizaki. It was either her or Nagi. I don't remember, but yeah, she's like explaining the history of Ragon, and she like even mentions the like Lovecraft mythos. You know, talking about
Oh
like Dagon,
yeah,
the fish people, which is really funny. And I think you missed
that
that
is really funny.
when we were first watching it. I was like, Brian, did you catch that?
I did miss that, but then you pointed it out to me, and I thought that was really
Yeah.
sick.
But yeah, there's like a
Because like
sketch of like a Ragon like dressed in like a tuxedo, and I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. That's my new
that
profile
is
picture.
so funny. I think I told you to set that as your picture.
I changed my Twitter profile picture for the first time in 2 years to that.
Oh, let's go.
And I don't
I
even
mean,
use
it is
Twitter
a
that
good
often. It's a
picture.
great picture. I love it. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one. I mean, Ragon's another one where like most episodes with Ragon are going to be a good episode, and this one especially was really really good. It was another like kind of like grounded quote unquote and like personal episode because it deals with
Yeah.
a lot of like interesting themes. Because you know the whole thing was that like they used to she was friends with the Ragon when she was a kid, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? You can't be friends with the monster, you piece of shit! Kill her! Kill the monster too!" And
Jesus.
yeah, and then she goes to live with Ragon in like a different dimension at the end. So everything it was all okay. It all worked out okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a great episode. Um, One thing I wanted to mention that you and I started joking about near the end of the
I
series
think I know where you're going with this.
was the absolute overuse of the Spherosaurus.
Yep, I knew exactly where you're going
So
for it.
for the first time a Spherosaurus showed up,
Way back in the
we
premiere episode.
yes, in the premiere episode, we were like, "Oh my god, he looks really cool." But then they kept using him over and over again,
Yeah,
and it got really, really tiring.
I want to see how many times Spherosaurus appears in this series. Hold on.
Too many times.
Okay, maybe it's not as much as we thought. It's like really only 4 unless you count the Mother Spherosaurus, which the Mother Spherosaurus looks completely different from the normal one. So I guess it's really not all that overused. I don't know.
It really felt overused.
It did. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. It did feel overused, but that could just be like because there was that one episode where it appeared twice
That's
because
true. Yeah.
one
Oh
died
yeah.
and then
And
it
then they brought it
respawned in
back.
another one.
I think that is really where that joke spawned from, was that exact episode.
Yeah, and then I made a joke that the main like the mother Spherosaurus was just going to be a regular Spherosaurus, but that wasn't the case. I remember when the mother Spherosaurus showed up. I didn't like how it looked, but
Yeah, I don't mind
um,
it, but it's whatever.
yeah, I mean, at least it wasn't what I said it was gonna be,
Yeah, just a bigger
because that would have
Spherosaurus.
that would have been bad.
What is this? What is this? Apparently, there's some like other version of a Spherosaurus, like the Eco Spherosaurus, and I don't know what it's from.
Well, I remember that there wasn't like at the near the beginning of the show like um there was like a monster. I feel like it kind of turned into Spherosaurus or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
I forgot.
Whatever. Anyways, what else? I liked
Do
Spinny.
we want to talk about the main antagonist?
Oh, Agams.
Yeah, I think he was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
he was pretty
I liked
cool.
him.
Yeah,
He
his
he
his wife is dead.
his wife's dead, so he is an alien from what was the name of the planet?
Um, let me see. Bosdo.
Basdo,
Bosdo. Yeah.
Bosdo, and so apparently, uh, his wife was killed by the sphere, and he somehow decided that it was humanity's fault.
Yeah, cause like,
So, because like I guess they defeated the sphere or something, or they made the sphere move on to
I
Bosdo.
I think so.
I,
Yeah, cause
I don't
like
know.
Earth started like exploring space, and they drove the sphere to Bosdo.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think that they did explain it. I'm forgetting it, so I'm not faulting the show for that.
Yeah, it's us
Uh,
because we're stupid. Don't worry.
yeah, probably should have done my homework on this,
It's okay.
but
This is nothing new for
I
the
mean,
show.
it was cool. Like I mean, not cool that his wife died, but like it was actually like I understood that he was crazy, but like sympathetically crazy.
Hmm.
Um, he got space herpes essentially
Yep, and
later.
then he gave it to Kanata.
He, yep, he gave it to Kanata. Yep. Um, and it was never really explained what that did exactly. It just showed up, and I guess that if it covered him entirely, it would kill him. But yeah, it just kind of showed up.
Hmm.
And Agams was using the big robot.
The Terra
I
Phaser, yeah.
forgot the Terra Phaser. That was cool. Um, that was one of those things that did show up a lot, but I actually didn't really mind it showing up all that much because it kind of made sense. It was like the only way for him to like actually fight Decker, because if he just fought Decker without the Terra Phaser, he'd lose.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I thought Agams was a pretty cool villain, and he redeemed himself in the end.
Yeah.
He did the good guy thing. He had his arc.
Yeah, he
Um,
helped at the very end. He helped defeat the Mother Terra Phaser, the Mother Spherosaurus.
yeah, I think that he was definitely an improvement on Trigger, but I think they could do better. I mean, I still liked him as a character.
You know who I
Uh,
really liked, Brian?
who'd you really
I
like?
liked Decker. Not Ultraman
Yep.
Decker, but Decker from the future who knew Agams.
Yes.
That guy was cool.
Yes. That guy was very cool.
He was so fucking
Which episode
cocky.
is that in?
That is from Birth of a Dark God, and also A Promise for Tomorrow. 14 and 15 it was a two-parter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was like right when we learned that Agams is, hey, he's a bad guy.
Yep. Yeah, because he was like he was like posing as like a scientist
Yeah,
for
Sakage.
like the first bit. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, the future Decker was super cool.
Yeah, he was so cocky and arrogant, and I loved him. Like he was like fucking doing poses while fighting. It was awesome.
He was just acting like he was just above it all. God, that
Yeah,
was so good.
it was real,
Yeah,
real fun stuff.
that was a lot of fun to watch. I like that a lot. Hmm.
There was one other thing I wanted to mention. Now I don't remember what the hell it was. God
I don't
damn it.
know.
God damn it.
It's kind of, it is really difficult to like talk about the earlier episodes because it's
Yeah.
so long since we saw them.
Yeah, I mean this show started in fucking July.
Yeah.
Like it started in July and we're trying to talk about I don't know. It is a little tough to talk about a show that we've been following as it aired. So, maybe in the future we'll change up how we do this. I don't know. We have a couple months to decide that. I don't know.
Oh, another cool thing is Hanajiro. Best boy.
Hanajiro is
Best
pretty
robot.
great. He's such a real one for like keeping Kanata's secret of being Ultraman. Very nice.
Yeah, he was a real one for sure. Probably one of the brightest spots of the show for me.
Yeah.
Because he was just cool. It's cool. He was a robot with ears.
Yeah.
Pretty sick. Yeah. That's all I really had to say. I know it's kind of a non-review. Didn't really.
I mean,
We liked it.
Yeah, we liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very much the same with how we reviewed Trigger. Like, that's just
Yeah.
Again, it's just.
I mean, it's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
So
like just
we
just
talked
like,
about our the favorite ones.
Yeah. I mean, similar to the like, because we also watched. Well, you binged Trigger, but I was watching it from the start. It was the same thing with this.
Trigger.
I thought you did.
You and I watched Trigger.
Did we? No.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
What the fuck am I thinking of?
I don't know.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Positive. You and I watched through Trigger
Together. What the fuck am I thinking of right now?
I mean, I binged through like Evangelion.
I could have sworn it was an Ultraman series I'm thinking of.
Ultra Q.
No, it was a newer series.
I don't know.
You are 100% positive that we watched Trigger together.
100%.
Okay.
Actually, let me.
See, now you're second guessing yourself.
No, I'm not. I want to come up with proof from Discord. So
Okay. Go for it.
So I'm gonna type in the phrase Trigger.
I specifically remember sending you the playlist of all the Trigger episodes and say, Brian, here, watch this so we can fucking review this for the show. I swear to God.
Let's see.
Someone here is being gaslit. We're going to find out who.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Ha! I knew it. I was right all along.
That's so weird. Oh, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I thought that we watched it.
We watched the movie together.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
that's
what you're
right.
thinking of.
All right, yeah. No, I got confused because like I don't know, because we watch a lot of shows over Discord now, so I just
Yeah.
got confused. I figured that it was just another one of those.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, we've been watching fucking Decker since
July.
like July, so it just feels so much
I know,
longer.
It really. I honestly didn't think Decker was premiered back in July. I thought it was much later in the year, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's long. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I was wrong.
Oh well.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Any more thoughts on Ultraman Decker? Again, it really is difficult to talk about a show that we've been watching since July. It's tough.
Yeah. I mean, no, don't really have anything else to say. I mean, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm probably never gonna watch it again, but yeah. I mean, more of this. I think this is probably like I wish I started with this
Mm-hmm.
than Trigger.
Yeah, I honestly,
Or
I
over
I
Trigger.
feel because like when Ultraman Z was airing, people were like, "This is really great. This is like a great what's the word I'm looking for? A great like template for what the Ultra series should be like going forward. And I still sort of agree on that for a little bit. Mostly because I think I liked the characters of Zet more than the ones in Decker. But if we get more shows like this, like Decker, like I will be more than happy because Decker really, really was fantastic. And I think
Yeah.
aside from the characters, I do like Decker more than Zet. Actually, one more thing I do want to mention is that I know that like the past couple series have been like anniversary celebration shows, but I would really like more than like 2 new monsters for each series.
Yeah.
Because
That'd be
like
cool.
Genagarg and Ultraman Z was really cool. Who was the first monster they fought in Trigger? I don't even remember. Oh, Golba, but that doesn't even count because Golba's a fusion between Golza and Melba, so I'm not even gonna count Golba. So Genagarg in Ultraman Z and the Spherosaurus in Decker are like really great kaiju designs, and we're just not getting enough new kaiju designs. I don't know if it's like a budgetary thing. I know they're like, because Trigger was an anniversary show for Tiga. This has been one for Ultraman Dyna. I assume the next year's series is going to be an anniversary show for Ultraman Gaia. So we're probably still not going to get anything much in the way of new monsters, but still, I want more new monsters. They've been great. Give me them, please. That's all I ask.
I like new stuff. I like new stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, all of this is new to you.
That's true. But I mean, like in general, like if I'm gonna go back and watch older shows,
Yeah.
then it would be cool to see like, you know, newer stuff and not be like, oh, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, more stuff like this. I'd be happy to watch it. I mean, every time we scheduled to watch Decker, I was excited.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly every time I watched Trigger, apparently by myself, I was not looking forward to it. But yeah, with Decker, I was always excited. So, I think the only thing that I really didn't care about was like the special episodes.
Yeah. Oh, hold on, Brian. There's one thing we forgot to mention.
Oh, what we forgot?
For all the times Kengo showed up and Trigger showed up, there was no Ignis.
True.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest downfalls of this series. We never saw Ignis again.
Yeah, Ignis was the best part of Trigger, and he didn't show up. I was very bummed.
Yeah.
I was really hoping he would.
Disappointing.
Like actually. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe sometime in the future.
Yeah, we'll see.
Give him his own series.
Give him his own series. That'd be nice.
I'll watch a whole show based around Ignis. I swear to God.
All right. Well, with that out of the way, I guess we'll move on to our next segment.
Yep.
What new cool kaiju thing are you checking out right now, Brian? What new cool kaiju thing are you checking out right now?
I have a couple adjacent things.
If you're gonna say Dead Space, I swear to fucking God.
Never mind.
I knew it, Brian. I know you. I know where your mind goes to.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, that's yeah. Nothing really. No.
There is a big monster in Dead Space at the end. Spoilers for a.
No, there's like 3.
Oh yeah, I guess there are multiple big monsters. What's the third one?
There's the
Hive
Leviathan.
Mind. Which one's
There's
the Leviathan?
the Hive Mind. That's the one that's in the hydroponics.
Okay, that's the one I'm thinking of. What's the
And then
other
there's
one?
another one that is like suctioned itself into like the station blocking the comms array.
Oh, on the outside, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now
and you have to
I
shoot it
remember
off
now.
with the
I remember
turret.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of them being made out of people,
Yeah.
which is just
Gotta love
fantastic
it.
to think about.
But yeah, no, Dead Space is pretty fucking stellar. I'm very early on because I am not good at the game. I've never been good at Dead Space, but I love it very much.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am a huge fan of the series, going back forever, and Dead Space remake, probably the best remake of a game ever.
Yeah.
Dare to say?
It's definitely very close to me to the remake of the original Resident Evil. Like that has long been the gold standard for video game remakes.
Yeah.
And Dead Space honestly comes very, very close to me. It might surpass it. I don't know. I haven't finished the game, so I don't know for sure, but it comes damn close to surpassing it.
Yeah, I hard agree with that. I was thinking it was going to be a lot like Resident Evil 2 remake, but unlike Resident Evil 2, Dead Space remake took out all of the bullshit. There's no like annoying turret section.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the level design and all that stuff has been slimmed down to not be as obnoxious. Because like the first game was always like really good, but I just like it had some baggage because it was so old, and there were some parts of it that were kind of like
it was 2008, so it was still pretty clunky.
Yeah, but that's why I like Dead Space 2, because Dead Space 2 was a lot like Dead Space 1, except it had all the bullshit cut out, and it was just like a good like 10-hour stomp through a big space station with you know really solid gameplay and design. But this remake real fucking good. They had this like the same game design philosophy as Dead Space 2, just made it into Dead Space 1. It's great. But yeah, that's about it. Probably gonna try to move on to the Gamera movies now, because my life is gonna be silent until the
Dead
end
Space
of this
2
month.
remake.
Until the end of February, when all the big games come out.
What even comes out?
Company of Heroes 3 is coming out, and then Destiny 2 Lightfall is coming out. And both of those are gonna. Yeah, Lightfall comes out like right at the end. I think the 28th.
I mean, Brian, listen. SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake came out today, apparently, so that's something you have to look forward to.
Oh, I heard about that. Yeah,
I heard it's good. Not as good as Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated, but still pretty damn good.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen a bit of gameplay for it. It looks cool.
Yeah, I'll probably buy it. Anyways, kaiju stuff that I've been checking out, as well as Dead Space. I did finally last night watch Space Monster Wang Magui. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't think I ever will. I don't think they never say it in the film. So I was hoping that would be the case and I'd figure out the pronunciation, but no such luck. So we talked about it on the show a little bit ago when SRS announced that the Blu-ray was coming out, but I'll give y'all a reminder, and just in case you didn't hear that or you forgot. So Space Monster Wang Magui is up until recently considered lost Korean giant monster film, which I want to say was the earliest Korean giant monster film. Like it preceded Yongari by a couple of years, because Wang Magui was 67. Yep. So yeah, it is the oldest surviving giant monster film to be made in South Korea, which could also mean, because Yongari, I don't think, is fully survived. So it was the same year as Yongari, but the original Korean version of Yongari is considered partially lost. So it's kind of the same. They're kind of in the same boat. Anyways, Wang Magui is an interesting film, to say the least. It's got
good, bad, medium.
It's hard to say.
Okay.
It's hard to say.
All right.
It's got kind of
is that your official review? Hard to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's enjoyable. It's definitely
Slap that on the
enjoyable.
box in quotes.
It's enjoyable.
Hard to say, but enjoyable. David Scrivani.
No, because like so first it starts off kind of slow,
Okay.
and it's got kind of it's got kind of a interesting pretty compelling plot actually. So it's this race of aliens. They're coming down to conquer Earth, and they're going to send this big monster to kind of wipe the Earth clean, more or less. So kind of, you know what? They're Pacific Rim stole that from Wang Magui. Guillermo del Toro, I'm calling you out.
But from
Anyways,
space or the ocean?
they come from space, so I guess they're
So it's like the reverse.
it's a reverse, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the monster showing up happens to come at the worst time for our two main characters, Anhee and Jonghwan. I hope I'm pronouncing those names right. It's Korean.
That's about right.
I'm not as well versed in Korean pronunciation as I am Japanese pronunciation. Bear with me. So they're supposed to get married, and Jungwon is a pilot in the Air Force. So he gets a call and it's like, hey, I know you're trying to get married, but we got a big monster on the loose. Can you like come give us a hand? And he's like, well, duty calls, I guess. So
That's kind of based.
yeah, it's pretty based. So he goes, and he is like pretty much in his plane for the entire movie after that. And when I say it's got a revolving door cast of characters, it really feels like they forget who the main characters are, because there is an extended bit where it completely switches focus to these two just random dudes who are just living in the city where Wang Magui is attacking, and they're like, I'll bet you my wife and my house he destroys that building first. And it's not that. It's like, all right, if you run away first, I get your house and your wife. And and he's like, okay, deal. And they're just going back and forth like, you're not scared, right? Like, no, of course I'm not scared. Why would I be scared? And it just goes on for a good like 10 minutes, and then you think it ends, but then it doesn't, and it keeps going. And then it flashes back to a third main character, this little like homeless kid who pulls a Shadow of the Colossus, climbs up Wang Magui and stabs him in the eardrum. And then, I kid you not, pisses on the monster. And then it flashes back to these two bums like just having a grand old time watching the city being destroyed. It's a wild time. It's a really wild time.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely the kind of movie I'm going to need to rewatch later on down the line to really know how to feel about it. Maybe next time you're back in town, Brian, we can watch it, because
or next time you're here.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Not next time, more like first time.
Good luck with that. We'll see. I will say there is a lot of clever stuff in it. Like the whole thing with the kid climbing up onto Wang Magui is actually like really unique. Like that's not really been in any other kaiju films up until that point before, which is really neat. And there's a lot of like just filmmaking wise, there's a lot of like interesting perspective shots. Like there's a shot, there's this little arch, kind of like the Arc de Triomphe in Paris, in France, and you say Wang Magui like kind of underneath the arch, but then he walks forward towards the camera and you realize he towers over this thing. It's really interesting stuff. It's kind of weirdly experimental in that sense that like other kaiju movies out of Japan weren't really doing stuff like that. So it really plays with the perspective a lot, and it's interesting that Japan never really tried to emulate any of that. I don't know. It's interesting is definitely the word I would give to describe the film. And I would really the most interesting thing about it, a lot of its humor reminds me a lot of Shinpei Hayashi's Raga God of the Monsters, because that's kind of a funny out there film, similar to in humor to this, and it's kind of weird because that's like another totally independent film that, like, you know, Hayashia made basically in his garage, more or less. But yeah, I would really like to watch those two back to back just to see the similarities between them.
Well, now I want to watch it.
Well,
Sounds fun.
go buy the Blu-ray, Brian.
I might just do that.
Good. But yeah, that's kind of all I got to say about Space Monster Wang Magui. Please, if you know how to pronounce that word, that name, please tell me. Correct me, for God's sake.
Yeah. And then berate him about it. Call him racist.
Yeah, call me a racist, please.
Yeah. And then, you know, send him death threats and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep.
But I think that pretty much does it for the show today, I think, unless you have anything else to add, Brian.
I got nothing.
Oh, fuck. I meant to talk about this during the news segment, but I guess we're doing it now because this is when we're signing off and we're talking about other things where you can reach us at. But hey, I got a new podcast.
Oh, boy. Chilling
Yes,
out.
I am, because it's kind of a Talking Toku partnership thing because, anyways. So I have partnered with Visionary Dawn host Nick Huber and our good friend Chris Condi, who those listening might know as Chicken Man on the internets. Us three have gotten together to start a podcast called No Croissant, the Godzilla 98 story. Chris had posted on Facebook a while ago, putting out feelers as to who would want to do a limited podcast about Godzilla 1998. And both Nick and I were interested, so he reached out to us, and now we have a Godzilla 98 podcast. So far, only one episode is out, episode 1, where it's just kind of a basic review of the film itself. We've recorded 2 others. I have yet to get around to editing them. I'm just about done with episode 2 now, which is all about Godzilla, the album, the soundtrack for that film that has, you know, Puff Daddy and Rage Against the Machine on it. It's an interesting episode, to be sure. The most recent episode we did on Godzilla the series, the animated series follow-up to the film. We actually got Keith Aiken, who is a storyboard artist on the series, to come on and give us some insights onto the production and some, you know, behind-the-scenes stories. It was a lot of fun. Very long episode. It's going to be a pain in the ass to edit it, but I think it's going to end up being a really, really cool listen, and I hope that one really takes off.
Pretty rad.
Yeah, we're going to be doing an episode next week with Jonathan Tchaikovsky about the canceled Trendmasters toy line for Godzilla the series. So I don't know how many episodes we're going to end up doing. The original plan was for 10. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, go check out No Croissant, the Godzilla 98 story.
All right.
I think it's just on Spotify right now, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, what else? Kaiju United, it's coming, baby. We're a little over a month away. I'm on the website now. You can find me. If you go into the contributors section, you can scroll down. There's a picture of me right there on the website. And you know why?
Just see Dave's ugly ass face.
Exactly. You know why I'm there on the contributors section? Is because I wrote an article for them. Yeah. It's kind of a retread of one of our older episodes. It's an opinion piece on the Godzilla vs. Kong score. If you guys remember that episode. it's a little more concise because it's instead of a hour and a half podcast, it's a 3-page article double spaced. So it's a little more
Very
concise.
nice.
You don't have to sit through me and Brian rambling to know our thoughts about it. But yeah, article's not up yet because obviously the site's up, but it hasn't like had its grand launch. But it will be up on March 7th. And once that does start up, Talking Toku will also be hosted on that website as well. There's going to be an embed link on Kaiju United, so keep an eye out for that. That being said, the next episode of this show going up, and the first show that will go up on Kaiju United is the episode we've been teasing for a long time now, the interview with Kaiju United founder Jacob Lingle. So get ready for that. It was a really cool interview. Hope to have him on again soon. I mean, we are going to have him on soon. We're going to have him back on with the co-founder of Kaiju United, Sean Santos. So look forward to that as well. So it's nice to have episodes, planned in advance for once. Who would have thought, Brian?
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
it's like
we're not flying by the seat of our pants for once.
Yeah, it's something, all right. It's a new thing to do.
It's a new day for Talking Toku for sure.
We've really gone into season 3.
What is with you and seasons, Brian? You keep talking about seasons.
I don't know. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I just
doesn't.
keep doing it.
You really do.
I can't help myself. Oh my god.
Jesus.
All right. Well, let's.
All right.
Send it here.
Yes. Well, this has been Talking Toku. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, all at Talking Toku.
Goddamn right.
If you are going to All Monsters Attack in Chicago in May, you will find me there, and maybe Brian. We're still trying to figure out if Brian's going to go, but you'll definitely see me there.
Yep.
And if, Brian, you do go, which you definitely should, Jacob Lingle was talking about maybe we should do like a podcast episode recapping the convention, which I think is a great idea.
I think that is a great idea.
But that involves you going to the convention now, doesn't it?
That definitely does involve me going, but we will see, because I have some unforeseen expenses that I need to expense.
Oh, fun.
That I will talk to you about in a bit.
Good luck with that. But yes, if you're going to Almost Attack, we'll be there. But yeah, that'll be it. This has been Talking Toku, Boston and Bellingham's only podcast about Godzilla, Gamera, Ultraman, and all our kaiju friends, and all that fun stuff. I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah, I'll see you in 2 weeks, or 2 weeks.
Yeah. All right, bye guys.
Bye.